Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the GM. I'm your guy, Boulanger. And up next, man, I want to get into a conversation with you guys about making it all make sense. Specifically speaking to the couple of videos I made about tearing it all down offensively. I preface offensively is what I was referring to, and including trading away Mark Andrews. So now let me lay out my thinking behind it. So let's deal with Mark Andrews first. Mark Andrews is probably a top five tight end, uh, specifically top two over the last three seasons. However, he's costing the Baltimore Ravens roughly $13 to $14 million, and Baltimore has had trouble paying their franchise quarterback, and so it doesn't make sense to hold on to what you think of as a franchise tight end at a $13 to $14 million price tag. If you hit reset at the quarterback position, yeah, he's a veteran presence. He could help a young rookie quarterback out. But we've seen two young tight ends in Likely and Kolar uh, be pretty good in moments. And so with more field opportunities, those guys could continue to develop. Plus, they could go into the draft and get one of these young studs at tight end as well, who could be certainly a Mark Andrews replacement for a fraction of the price. And the reason why I say price is simply because Baltimore seems to be leaning that way uh, uh, nowadays when it comes to paying their quarterback. So, if they were to trade Mark Andrews and get a couple of draft picks, they could get that replacement tight end, fraction of the cost, save some cap space, and then throw that money at the win now defense that they have built or are building. I know it doesn't feel good to acknowledge it that way, but I think it makes more sense to move a tight end with such a high price tag, especially when you haven't invested um, the necessary capital in your other skill positions. And so I think you have enough talent at tight end. Plus, if you grab one in a draft to certainly replace Mark Andrews, and all three of those young guys, Likely, Kolar, and whoever you pick in the draft, does not even come close to measuring up half of Mark Andrews' salary, specifically in 2024 and 2025. Now, and so now when I talk about Rashad Bateman, I'm just talking about somebody who has been contaminated with the Baltimore Ravens mess over the last 2 years. One by the conversation that's been ongoing about Lamar Jackson and getting a contract done, and then two, with EDC coming out and saying, you know, um, he wish he had better wide receivers. That don't only affect Rashad Bateman, but it also impacts Devin Duvernay. So I think that he certainly aggravated and agitated these wide receivers, and I don't know if there's any way to come back from that, especially if you don't have that guy at uh at the quarterback position, and so now you have to step up even more to help carry a rookie through his first year. So, and I'm not saying you trade Rashad Bateman right now. I'm saying over the next year, um, be prepared to trade Rashad Bateman. Uh, and if you can get something in draft capital for Devin Duvernay, go ahead and do that as well. Because next year, he's at the end of the next year, he's a free agent, and so he may walk anyway for nothing. And so at that point, you take all that draft capital you get, you go like I said before, get you a young quarterback, get you another number one, potential number one wide receiver. It's not that many in this draft class, as we come to find out from the combine. Go ahead and get you a young tight end, get you a young running back in the third round, so that you have a guy in place when you move on from J.K. Dobbins. And why would I say move on from J.K.? Well, number one, he's had two knee surgeries over the last couple of years, and running backs don't get better; they get worse once they've had those surgeries. And so just being prepared. We've seen this before where Baltimore doesn't prepare and build in depth, and so then when somebody goes down, they're lacking in that area. And then move on from Gus Edwards. I love Gus. I love what he does. Love what he brings to the table, but not at $5.6 million. And so I'm just being honest about where we are. If Baltimore's going to be budget conscious, then let's be budget conscious, because a lot of these guys are coming up for bigger paydays over the next couple of years. And again, I just make the point: if you can't find the money to pay your franchise quarterback, then you can't find the money to pay your running back. You can't find the money to keep paying your tight end. See, those things don't make sense because the quarterback position is exponentially more important than either any of those ancillary positions. And so what I'm saying is hitting reset allows the Baltimore Ravens to shovel any extra cap space over to the defensive side, because there's going to be some holes they need to plug at cornerback. There's going to be a hole they need to plug at edge rusher. There's going to be a hole they need to plug when Calais Campbell finally retires, and then you have money to re-sign Metabuke, Broderick Washington. Both those guys are coming available for contracts at the end of next year. So they have a lot of guys they need to sign. And so I think you have to just make a decision to just focus on one side of the ball. See, because that seems to be their MO anyway. When you look at what they've done in the Lamar Jackson era, it's been a defensive side of the ball focus. So I'm saying let's just do that. Let's just go ahead and focus on the defense, and allow Todd Monken to put his touch on the offense, but build it from scratch, because the one thing we know, he comes from those college ranks, so he's going to know these quarterbacks very, very well. I have some quarterback videos coming out from the combine. I got three guys I'm going to show you guys that I think are all possible Baltimore Ravens options, especially if they move on from Lamar Jackson. And so that's what I meant when I said a total rebuild. I'm talking about tearing it all down and just laying a new foundation, which could also include at the end of 2023 moving on from John Harbaugh as well. Because if you rebuild the offense totally, and and um, uh, and you start focusing on the defense, I think you can certainly look at some other look at some other head coach options, because John Harbaugh has been in Baltimore 15, 16 years, and he may have um, wore out his welcome. His voice may be uh, not as impactful as time continues. And so a total rebuild may even include at some point John Harbaugh uh, going away as well. So that's what I meant. So let me know what you guys want me to know, man. Let me know if you guys think they should totally tear down the offense and just start from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Put the cap space over on the defense side of the ball, and just rebuild the offense totally young. Um, or do you think we need to do patchwork, right? And just put some pieces together and see what we can do. Patchwork doesn't put us in contention without Lamar Jackson. Patchwork with Lamar Jackson does put us in contention, um, because he has a potential to lift uh, the whole offense and carry it. And so if you put some nice pieces around it, maybe not that total number one guy, whatever, but if you get some nice secondary parts, and you mix in Rashad Bateman, and you throw in Devin Duvernay. This is if we keep Lamar. If we keep Lamar, I'm not talking about total rebuild, but if we lose Lamar, then we need to tear it all the way down and just start from scratch. So let me know what you guys want me to know, man. Thank you for listening, man. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, share it with a friend. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.